Hey guys, thought I would create a little tutorial for you how to create hair cards in Houdini for your characters. Should be pretty simple and pretty easy way to go about it to get some pretty good looking hair cards. So I am just going to start from scratch here and go everything from how to set it up from Maya into Houdini, how to get the hair cards, all the way up to exporting. Now I can't show you the actual export because I'm running on Houdini Apprentice, and you need at least Indie or the educational version to export it. Okay, so Houdini and Maya, they register scale differently. So 1 centimeter in Maya is going to equate to 1 meter in Houdini. So that's why this kid is looking so small on this grid, because I've got things under Windows, Settings, Preferences, go under Settings. I have things set to centimeter. So the kid is pretty tiny, just so that he can be the appropriate size in Houdini. Now, once you export just like a typical FBX, you're going to open Houdini, and this is something what you're going to see. You're going to see the blank viewport, and then you've got these two different windows here. So this window is pretty much going to be showing you the various different settings for each node that you click on, and this one is where you're going to be doing the bulk of your work. Dropping down nodes, going through folders, adjusting data. So when you click on this, you're going to want to be in the OBJ folder. There are a number of these other ones, but those are not important to what we are doing. So once you are in the OBJ, which should be the default folder that you are in, you're just going to press Tab, type out Geo for a geometry folder. I'm going to click that down. Just going to call it place character here. Double click to go inside. Press Tab again. Put down a file node. And so the file node is where we're going to be putting on our FBX. So I've clicked on the node here. It's giving me the different settings for the file node. Up here, geometry file. I'm just going to click on this to pull up my computer directory. Go to the FBX that you are trying to import. This one is Boyo, one of the characters from our project. And here you go. Now I'm going to do a couple more nodes here, just so that I can get the hair going to where I want it. So first thing I'm going to type out is convert. So this is converting him to polygons so that I can select him and make various different modifications. Then I'm going to type down group. Let's name this group scalp, because that's where we're going to put the hair. Now, these different colors, the purple and the blue, those are just showing like different flags of what you are viewing in the history. So to keep things most up to date, I'm just going to put it to the group node. Just click on this little icon here. And because we don't have a group selected, or we haven't created the group, it's just going to select the whole model. So with group selected, we're going to go back into these settings where it says base group. We're going to click on this arrow, and then I'm going to make sure that I've got this eye with the cursor turned on. That just makes it so that I can, when I select, it only selects what I can see. It's not cutting through the geometry to create the selection. Otherwise, I would be like selecting the scalp here and be grabbing geometry from the eyeballs, and we don't want hairy eyeballs. All right. So that's how hair grows. Once you have everything selected, press enter, and that is now our group. I'm going to put one more node down here. Just going to type in null. Now the null node doesn't do anything, it's just the end of the chain. And I'll show you why that's important in a second. Okay, so now that we have this all lined up, I'm just going to click OBJ to take us out of that folder. And now I'm going to type in guide groom. Now there are two different ways to get this set up. One is I can just take this tail and I can just plug it in. That's going to put hair everywhere. And so this is essentially just working like parenting objects in Maya. So I'm going to press Y. I'm just going to cut that. Instead, I'm just going to click on the guide groom, go back up into the settings, see where it says SOP path. That means subnet operator path. And we are just going to click on this little icon here. Now this is pulling up the hierarchy, much like what you would see in Maya, just instead of, on the side showing you what you have in your scene, it's a free floating menu. So here's our folder where we have our character. I'm just going to press the expand, and the null, because it's all in caps lock, is going to be the first thing that's going to pop up. And we want to use that one because it contains all of the previous history of the character. And then for the group, we're just going to select scalp. So that is where the hair is going to be able to grow. Now I'm just going to increase the density for the guides here. You don't need to do that. I just am doing it so it's a little easier to see. And then once you've got your guides, you're going to double click to the guide deform, and you should be getting this screen here where you've got these different nodes. Type in guide groom again. You're going to place this in the middle. It should connect to all three. And this is how you're going to adjust your groom. You can adjust this brush by holding shift and dragging. And if it doesn't show up on your screen, make sure you've got this little icon selected. Okay. Now, once you are on this node, these are the different settings you're going to get for this guide groom. So screen brush just makes it so that I can move the hair. And these are the various different tools that you have. So I'm just going to go extend, just so we can give this guy some crazy hair. Oh yeah, there we go. Beautiful. Now one of the things with these guides is obviously we don't want to just be grabbing everything like that all the time. So you can go under primitive group, and just like how we selected the group for the geometry, you can do the same thing with the hair. You select which guides you want, press enter, and now let's go into screen brush. And now you can see that I'm only grabbing those hairs that are part of the group. Once you're done with it, select everything, just delete, press enter, and it goes back to the way it was. Okay, so let's say that's how we want the hair. We're going to go back out. I'm just going to go click on this little tail, press tab, type in hair, hair card generate. Boom, all the hair cards. Now as you can see, there are many, and that is tied to how many guides I have on the model. So you can reduce the number of guides to reduce the amount of cards, as well as obviously these hairs are all ridiculously long because I made the hair long, but you can keep it shorter to get the hair cards short, and then you can adjust things to have them layer just by combing the different guides, have a bit more of a setup. So this is how you create the guides to make the hair cards. And once you have this, we're almost done. You just select everything. See this little box? You're just packing it up. We just call this Boyo Fabio for that beautiful hair. And then what you would just do with this is you would select it, go under File, Export, Filmbox FBX, and that would allow you to export it as FBX. You could take it back into Maya, you could take it into Unity, Unreal, what have you. So that is how you create hair cards. There's a lot of information to go over, but it is pretty simple once you start messing with it. So just let me know if you have any questions.